push the red button?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is it timing up here?
No. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right, this is part 2 here. We're gonna put this gear on the stepper motor with the teeth closest to the motor. Okay, that's how we got it on there. The teeth about, maybe 5-6 millimeters up. It says on here distance about 3.5 millimeters up, so maybe I got it just a little too high. Make sure that it's not up more than like 4. It says 3.5, but it don't have to be that quite that close.
No, I didn't touch it and it did it again.
No.
There we go.
Okay, all right.
It just did it all by itself.
Okay, got that on there. Now we're ready to put it back on. We got the bottom part right here, so we'll take that and we'll put this back on. We'll see, we may not have to use this extension piece here. So make sure everything's out of the way. Set this on here. Boy, that puppy is tight. It's gonna fit in there good. Well, that sure ain't gonna do no helping. And last, no. Looks good to me. So we take this top part, and it says on the instructions you got to put it on there at an angle, like this. Well, you know what? We can put this together first. We got that part in there. We got the arm on there. This here is for the filament feed. Put that in there. Put the bottom on. Make sure it goes together nice and smooth. There we go. All nice and tight together. Yeah, just get that on there just enough to hold it. Then you got your 3 bolts to hold it down. So you come over here, and it says to put it on at an angle and then slide it in there. That ain't gonna work with that on there. Gotta raise that up, gotta figure that out, but we'll have to do that in a minute. I can make that work. That's the filament break detection. Ouch. Yeah, this is really tight, so I gotta get it all lined up. Yours probably won't be that tight. You'll probably have to hold the motor up on yours. But mine, I don't have to do that. It sits right in there. There we go. I think we got that one started. There we go. Now I think believe it's going. Yep. Yeah, I'm gonna have to take a look at this filament detector here and see what I got to do. But we're putting this in for right now. We'll get it going, and I didn't realize I was gonna have to modify that, but definitely we'll have to. But we'll have to take a look and figure that one out. But we got that on there, and you can hook up the wires back up. Now I might have to switch out them wires in the middle to make it run the other direction. We'll have to see. On this side over here, you can put the Bowden tube back in and make sure you put your clip back on there. And then it comes with a little piece of tube to guide your filament in on the other side. I've got a filament cutter here. Probably don't need a very big piece. Make sure if you put one of these in, you also put a clip on it too, if you've got an extra one to put on there to hold it in there. Okay, now I gotta put a piece of filament in here so it won't show that I'm out of filament. So that'll trick the machine, telling you that your filament's good, you're not got a break in it. And then I've already got my hot end still hot, so I can just load filament right into here. Make sure you got a nice straight cut on there. There's a couple different ways. I've heard people say they like it with a little angle on it, you know, like a little point. But I like it straight myself. It seems to work for me. And just ease it in there. And then just take this off just enough to bypass it. Just enough to feel it go through. Yeah, I can feel it stuck in there. And you should be able to push it right in. Might have to turn it just a little bit. You got to get it to line up on that other side. That's the hardest part. There we go. Once you get it, yeah, you can feel it go right through there. Now it's in. Now you push it all the way in. Now I push it in until I see it coming out the nozzle. You can feel it getting tight, and then there it is. It's coming out the nozzle right down here, Judy. So you can see it coming out the nozzle. There you go. All right, now you know it's in. It's in all the way. Come back up here, Judy. Judy, up here. Put a little bit of tension back on your spring here. Not too much. And that way you make sure you got a good pressure on there. And then now we got to make sure that it's working okay. So we come back around over here, and what we're going to do is we're going to feed some filament through there. So we push here and go to prepare and go to move access and go to extruder and go to 10 and just go 20 and make sure it works. Hit OK. And it's pushing filament through. Sure enough is. All right. Well, now let's test it. Let's test the extruder. You gotta have a marker. So I'm using black filament, so I need a white marker or something light so it can be seen on there. I happen to have a white one. It's kind of best to use like a white or a silver or something light so you can mark on it with a black marker. But get your measuring stick out and mark off from right where it goes in to the tube there, your Bowden tube. Mark off 100 millimeters. Would be 10 centimeters. Got one of these acrylic pins. I got to get it to work first. Here it comes. Now we can mark it. So I make a line on here first. Kind of, I don't know, helps me get a guide here. And then I put my measuring stick on there and I mark off 10 centimeters. And then I also put a mark at 120 centimeters. So if it pushes past my 10, I can measure it and see how far I gotta go back to make it shorter. But I don't think it's gonna be shorter. I think I'm gonna have to increase it a bunch because the gear ratio on this is 1 to 3. So let's check it out. So you have to have your extruder on. Since I moved it once, I like shutting it back off and getting it back to 0. Otherwise, you'll go in there and it won't be at 0. So I shut it off. First thing I want to do is hit control again, bring that temperature back up, make sure it stays there. The extruder won't move if the nozzle isn't hot. Ooh, I don't know what I just did, but I better get out of there. I don't know what I pushed, but it didn't go right. Okay, hit the button, go to control and temperature and nozzle, and like I said, I go up to 205. Okay, get that up to 205, go out of control, go back to main and go to prepare, and then go to move access. Go back to your info screen, make sure your temperature's up there first and wait till it gets to 205. Or if you want to do it at 185 or 190, or whatever temperature you prefer, go ahead and do it. That's just what I do it at. Okay, it's getting up there. So now we go down to prepare and move access. And you want to go down to extruder and go to 10 millimeter and then go to 100. You want to move it 100 because that's what you measured. And now it's going to move 100 millimeters. Now let's watch it move. You put your fingers on here, you can feel it pulling forward. But I know I got to increase that. It's only at like 130 or something. I got to get it up to like 400 and something. I'm probably barely going to extrude like 25 or 30 millimeters. So we're going to remark it and try again. This ain't going to go all the way. I know it's not. Gear ratio is different. but I just wanted to show you, if you didn't move your access motor steppers, then you're not going to go very far. You can see my lines, yeah, they're hardly even going, and I believe it's done. It's not moving anymore, so yep, we got to do it again. So we'll do that again. And again, I like to shut it off because you go into them stepper motors again, and it's going to show that 100 that you already moved, and I'd rather start from 0. So first thing I'm going to do is go in to control, and I'm going to go to motion, and I'm going to go to steps, and I'm going to go to extruder steps, and it's at 96. So we want to go 3 times that. So that would be, let me think real quick. If it was 100, 3 times.
180.
I don't have a calculator on me. Motion. You gotta spin the heck out of it. It's so slow. You gotta spin, spin, spin. 98. So I'm gonna go to 380 and start there. And I'm gonna go grab my phone, and so I have a calculator. And then we'll get this set up. We're almost done. All we gotta do, if we get these E-steps done, then we're set up. And then you just print from there and go. But I mean, your print will be set up. Once you get your E-steps done, your extruder's in and it's ready to go. You're ready to print. But yeah, it takes a long time. You want to run up and get my cell phone? Thank you. Yeah, you can spin on this, and spin on this, and wow, it goes so slow. You need to get my drill. Hey, you only got to do this one time. Make sure after you do it the first time you hit save, because if you don't, you'll be doing it all over again, and you don't want to do that. I'm only at the 120, man. I got to go to 300. Yep, this takes some. Now, I'll tell you what, we're going to stop this. You can watch this video. I'll come back on and we'll do those E-steps again and make sure we got them right. So there you go. We'll be back.